Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Thursday. So today is just going to be a vlog style video, and a couple of weeks ago I shared my final house tour. So I showed you guys everything completely finished in our house, and I asked you guys to leave any questions in the comments of that video if you had specific questions about what we did or why we chose the routes that we did with certain aspects of the home in terms of the remodel, like how we made our decisions and things like that. And then I also wanted to just give you guys some general feedback on things that I would have done differently in the process. So that's what today's video is going to be all about. So if you're curious about any videos in this series, I do have a playlist on my main channel, so I'll link that down below. And if you want to see any of those videos, you can check out that playlist. I have even some footage from like earlier remodels we had done in the house. The bathrooms, we remodeled the bathrooms upstairs before we did the downstairs. So anyway, but let's just kind of talk about why we chose to remodel our home. Our home is actually a newer home. Craig and I bought this place back in 2006. And it was brand new. It wasn't even finished when we first saw it. They completed it after we purchased the home. And so we always knew that if we were going to stay here for any extended period of time, that we would eventually change a lot of the finishes in the house out, because this home was just a very generic builder grade special type of house. That's not to say that, like, you know, the stuff wasn't nice. I mean, it was all new. That was the thing. Everything was new in the house, but it wasn't custom in any kind of way. It was very generic, and it basically looked like every other new, like, tract type home in, like, the neighborhood that, you know, the builders were putting up like crazy at that time. You know, they were trying to use the cheapest materials and then sell for like the highest price. Like back in 2006 when we bought our house, the market in the city where we lived was like nuts. Like we bought at the height of the market. There was no negotiating. We were either going to pay the full price that they were asking for this place, or they were going to reject our offer. So we paid full price for the house, and we moved in, and we were like, great, let's just live in this place. And we did. And Craig and I had roommates for several years to like help with the mortgage. And after we got married, we decided no more roommates. So last roommate moved out. And at that point, we got married in 2008. So at that point, we sort of decided, well, let's start thinking about changing out some of the things in this house. And so we started with wanting to change out the stairway in the house. We had carpet on our stairs, and even after just a couple of years of living here, the stairs were in rough shape. We have a dog. He goes up and down the stairs. Craig and I went up and down the stairs, obviously, all the time. So the carpet was really worn out. The carpet that was installed was like very basic, very like bottom of the barrel in terms of quality. So, and we have a dog. He had some accidents in the house. There were stains. That was the first thing that needed to go. So we started with ripping out the stairs completely. Like we just literally like ripped out the stairway, treads and all, because Craig knew that he wanted to eventually do hardwoods in the downstairs. So he put in cherry treads on our stairway. And if you look through any of my videos, you'll see the stairway going up the stairs. That was very expensive, but it was the first thing that we did because it was easy enough to do. So after that, we then decided to replace all the carpet upstairs. So we moved everything out. We had brand new carpet put in. We didn't do like top of the line carpet, but we did like, I mean, we spent like $4,500 on carpet. It was expensive to carpet the upstairs of our house. So we did that. And then we moved on to doing the bathrooms. We gutted the bathrooms completely, put everything in there that we wanted. And then after that, we decided to tackle the downstairs. So that was kind of the progression of everything. And this took place over the course of many years, from like basically 2008 to 2016. Like, we really have taken our time in doing this. And one of the reasons that we took our time is because we didn't want to take out like a loan to be able to do these upgrades. We wanted to do them on our own, and we wanted to do them as inexpensively as we possibly could, but still use the best quality materials. Craig is very handy, so he was able to do a lot of the work in our house himself. We also saved a lot of money by not hiring like a crew of professionals. We just hired one carpenter that came to our house and helped us out with the different projects that we needed help with. So like laying the hardwoods in the downstairs, installing the bathroom cabinetry, doing the tile work, you know, like things like that. Craig and I knew we weren't really that great at, and so, you know, we hired a carpenter that could help us with stuff like that, or a tile guy that could help with stuff like that. And Craig also has a lot of industry friends because of what his job is, so we also got friend special pricing on a lot of these things, which is great. So if you know people, that's really a great route to take, you know, like talk to people. Maybe they know someone who might be willing to give you a discount because they're friends with this person. And, you know, that's not going to be the ideal situation for everybody, but really that is how we were able to afford to do a lot of the things that we did here, and to do like really high quality work. Is like, we knew people, we still paid them because this is hard work. You know, it's not like we were asking someone to like come in and, I mean, I don't even know what an example would be, like just, you know, slap some paint on the wall. Like, we wanted shit to look good. You know, there's no reason in spending all of this money because supplies are expensive. Like, they're so expensive. The flooring was a fortune for this house. You know, because we did the Brazilian cherry treads on the stairs, Craig wanted Brazilian cherry hardwoods in the downstairs. So that, you can imagine, was not cheap. We went with the Bella wood, and it was worth it because it was pre-finished. So we were able to install it, and the very next day when it was finished, it took a couple days to finish, but the day after it was finished, we were able to move our furniture in. Like, we didn't have to finish the floors, we didn't have to sand, none of that. Like, it was just all done, so it was worth it. But it was really expensive. So, you know, we tried to save money where we could by doing a lot of the labor ourselves. I did a lot of painting. The one thing that I have, that some people have said to me in my videos is, well, I can just paint my own kitchen cabinets white. You know, like I could just do that myself, and then I don't have to pay $3,000 for it. The one thing I will say is, when you are painting something as large and substantial and permanent as your kitchen cabinets, you should hire a professional to do something like that. The time that they took to prep, to sand, to caulk, to fill in holes, to just everything. I mean, these guys knew what they were doing, and they did it right. The paint is not peeling off of our cabinets. It has a guarantee on it. If anything goes wrong, they'll come back and fix it. It was just done right. I know it can be very tempting to think I can just go to Home Depot, buy a bucket of paint for $20 and put it on there, you know, and like maybe I'll do a little bit of sanding or something beforehand. It's not that simple. They sprayed the cabinets, the doors themselves, they completely took off site and, you know, like used special cleaners on because there's a lot of grease and just dirt and stuff that builds up over the years. It's just one of those things that was worthwhile for us to invest in, because we knew that if it looked bad, that would be something really obnoxious to look at for years and years. And we would have probably just ended up having to either like pay a professional to come in the end and redo it, or worse yet, like get all new cabinets for the kitchen. We decided not to go the new cabinet route because it would have cost us $18,000 to replace our kitchen. That was just too much money. I didn't mind the kitchen cabinets. They were stock grade from like Home Depot probably, but we painted them white and they look so much better than before. They were just that kind of generic like 1990s, mid 2000s like oak color, like honey oak color. Just nothing special. But white, they now look clean, they look more modern. We didn't even replace the hardware. When we first bought the hardware for our cabinets after we moved in, I tried to make sure to pick something that I knew would be kind of timeless and that we could reuse if we were to either replace the kitchen or redo these cabinets. So we kept the same hardware. You know, it was little things like that where we could save a little bit of money, because we spent probably $400 on all of that hardware for all of our cabinets, and we reused every single piece of hardware for our cabinets, both in the bathrooms upstairs, the bathroom downstairs, and in the entire kitchen. So, you know, like, we were able to save some money that way. But really, truly, if you are going to paint something as substantial as your kitchen cabinets, unless you're a professional, I would say hire someone to do that. It was honestly some of the best money that we spent because they look great. I've had friends who have painted their kitchens, and when I've seen the cabinets, like, it's hard for me not to cringe and be like, that doesn't look good. It's hard to get it right if you don't know what you're doing. So either practice a lot on maybe like some of like your random furniture that you don't really care about, or just hire it out. It's a ton of work. It needs to be done right. If you hate it, you're going to be stuck looking at something really ugly for a long time, and it's going to affect the resale value of your house. So let's talk about that. One of the main reasons we obviously did all of this, and this video is probably way longer than I want it to be, but I'm just going to go with it. Stop listening whenever you want. One of the reasons that we did all the work to this house is because we are thinking about either A, renting it out, or B, selling it in the next couple of years. It's hard for me to think about leaving this house now because everything is exactly the way that I want it, but in all honesty, we are trying to move to a better school district for Stella. She starts kindergarten the year after next. And by the time that she is in first grade, I really want her to be in this school district that Craig and I are thinking about moving to. For me personally, I would rather live in the area where we are right now because it's super convenient for me. I am much more of a city girl. Where we would be moving to, it's not totally the country, but it's a completely different vibe from where we are now. And I don't know if I would fit in as well there, but it's not about me anymore. It's about Stella now. So, you know, and I really think that moving to a smaller town will be good for her in the long run. She'll have a better school experience. She will have smaller classes. And honestly, the high school in this particular town is fabulous. Like, it's a fabulous place to go to high school. And both my nieces and my nephew go to school in this town now. And I can definitely see that their education was phenomenal and that it's made a huge difference for them. So I want that for Stella. So, you know, even though I may not enjoy living in this town quite as much as Stella will eventually, I'm going to suck it up and we're going to move there and buy another house. So we are either going to sell this place or rent it out. So that was the reason that we wanted to have everything finished in this house, is so that we can make the maximum profit. You know, really, truly, that's what it's about. Like, this wasn't a charity project. Like, we didn't do all these improvements so that we could sell the house to someone who, you know, is on like a smaller budget. Like, we want to get as much as we can so that with our next house, we can buy something that either is completely finished, or we can, and I really don't want to do this, but remodel it to our liking the way that we did with this house. So, yeah, so, or, you know, rent it and make a lot of money off of rent. Because right now, the rental market where we are is crazy, and you can ask a lot of money for rent and people pay it. So we would more than have the mortgage covered. We would more than have the insurance covered. We would make good money just off of renting this house. And so, you know, making the improvements was a huge thing for us. We really wanted to do that. So Anyway, there's a little bit about why we did this, how we saved money along the way. A lot of the stuff that I purchased, by the way, I purchased from Home Depot or Lowe's. So the paint that we bought came from Lowe's. A lot of the flooring came from a specialty like lumber store, but the tile, all that stuff came from Home Depot or Lowe's. Granite and, well, no, quartz. We have quartz throughout the entire house. The quartz for the bathrooms came from a place that dealt with remnants. We didn't need huge slabs, so the remnants were perfect for the bathrooms. But for the kitchen, we kind of went all out. And if you look at the videos, you can see like the quartz it's a really nice high-end quartz, and it's beautiful. So anyway, let's go ahead and look through questions. So Always Being Belle asked, I would love to know more about the type of paint used on the cabinets. So it is a water-based paint that he used. I can't remember. It was from Sherwin-Williams. I'll see if I can get the paint can down and put it in the description exactly what it is. But it was a water-based paint that he used on the cabinets. It was definitely not oil-based, because he said that would have been really tough in terms of like how stinky it would have been in the house. So, and the water-based is nice. It cleans up really easily, and it's been great on there. Question on the glossy floors. How do you think with pets and kids it will hold up? Hardwood is the way to go, but I just can't make up my mind on a finish or a shade. So our Brazilian cherry hardwood floors, they have a glossy finish. It's fine. They're pre-finished, and the Bella wood is particularly like hard wood. We haven't scratched it. With Kong and Sophie like walking on it, there's no marks from their nails. It's not a problem at all. It's super easy to clean. I just use a special wood cleaner they gave me at the wood place that we bought the wood at, and yeah, it's super easy to keep clean. It's probably maybe actually like easier to keep clean than even the Pergo was. So the only thing is I can't use a steam mop on it, so they gave me a special mop to be able to use, and then you just rewash the little like end of the mop thing and then reuse it. So no big deal at all. How would you describe the style of your home? Probably pretty modern, but I don't know. I like to think that it's timeless. Like, I hope nobody has to come in here in the next 5 years and remodel everything because it's completely outdated looking. I tried to pick really neutral stuff that, even 10, 15 years from now, someone would come in and say, I might change the paint color on the walls, but everything else is still neutral enough and generic enough to where, it still looks good 10, 15 years from now. So, that same person also mentioned how very American the house looks. She's from Germany. German homes are completely different from American homes. German homes have much more like divided rooms, especially the older homes. This whole open concept idea it's not something that is common in a lot of older German homes. So yeah, it's a completely different look and style of house. Becky mentioned that, because I had talked about like repainting some of these rooms before moving, and she said don't do that, and I'm going to take her advice on that. When we move, we're just, if somebody wants to repaint it, they can, but I'm not going to repaint the upstairs. I did repaint everything downstairs because I wanted that lighter look, but everything upstairs has stayed the same. Let's see here. What other questions? Oh, someone had a question about the couch that we have. If I like the chaise layout. I do. I really like our couch. I wish that I would have spent more money on like a higher end couch though, because our couch after 4 years is looking pretty worn. So anyway, I think that was actually it for questions. Most people didn't have questions. They really liked the way that everything turned out. So yeah. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you have any further questions down below. But yeah, really happy with everything. I'm glad it's done. I would do it all over again, but it was really hard. If you can move out of your house while it's being remodeled, that is really preferable. But if you can't, it's doable. You know, we did without a kitchen for like a month. Not ideal, but we made it work. You know, it's not easy, but it's totally worthwhile in the end. Our house was livable again within a month and a half of starting the project. It took us a few months after that to finally absolutely finish everything, all of like the finishing touches, but you know, we could kind of do that in our own time. So, you know, having a flexible timeline for everything was great for us, and we're super happy with how it turned out. So I would like to not do this again in the future in our next house. I'd like to buy a piece of property and build a house and just have it be done. But Craig and I have to be on the same page about that, obviously, and we're not right now. We're still kind of discussing what we want to do. So we'll see. But you guys will definitely come along on that journey as well. So stay tuned to see what we end up in next. Again, it might be another year or two before we move, but who knows? I mean, if we find something, we could move in the next 3 months, you know, like we're just trying to keep an open mind, but we're also not rushing it, if that makes sense. So anyway, let me know if you guys have any other questions down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.